Hello everyone, I'm Emily Powers, and in this video I'm going to show step by step how to paint this dock with acrylic paint, and the supplies I'm using are in the description, and there's also some links in the description where you can buy some of those supplies, and a percentage of your purchase helps support my channel. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. So this is a 9x12 canvas, and I've got a ruler, and I'm just going to mark the horizon line, and it's not quite halfway. I'm just going to do it a little bit above the half point. So I'm going to stick my ruler up there, and then I'm going to get some chalk. This is yellow chalk, so you may not be able to see it very well, but I didn't want a dark color because there's going to be yellow over here, so I didn't want it to mix with like a blue chalk or anything. So I've just marked out my line a little bit higher than the middle, and now I'm going to take my 1/2 inch Filbert. This is a number 6 Princeton Summit, and I'm also going to take a small spray bottle. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm going to spray my paint with water, and I'm going to spray my canvas with water too. So it'll keep the paint wet longer, and it'll also help the paint to go onto the canvas board better. So I'm going to start in this area with the yellow because I don't want to get any blue in that bright yellow color. So I'm going to get some titanium white and cadmium yellow medium, and right about in here I'm going to put that in a little bit. And you don't have to have the same colors or brushes that I'm using. Then I'm just going to get a little bit brighter and go around that. And now I'm going to get a little bit of my cadmium orange, make it a little bit more orangey, and put that around. So I'm just slowly adding more colors around it. And there's going to be some like mountains or trees that are back here in between the water and the sky. And I just get a little bit more orange. Let's see, it was probably too far that I went. So I'm going to get my rag and some water just to push that back some and take that color off before it dries. Alright, so I'm going to rinse that out of my brush, and now I'm going to start trying to get into the blues. So I'm going to get some white, and I'm going to just put that in here around the orange. I might even get a little bit of orange, kind of blend with it a little bit. And then I'll add just a tiny bit of Phthalo Blue, and a tiny bit really tints it. Just blend them together. And I'm going to do a second layer, so it doesn't have to be perfect this first time. And now I'm going to get into my blues. Just get a little bit more white in between the blue and the orange. I can get a little bit of orange and blend it in a little bit higher. There you go. And now I'm going to start getting my blue a little bit darker. A little lighter than that. I don't want to have it too dark yet. And just go all the way to the top. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe. I post a new video every Friday, so if you want to look at some of my other painting tutorials, you can go to my channel, Emily Powers Art, and it will take you there and you can see those videos. Alright, so now I'm going to get it a little bit darker. You have to go pretty fast because this acrylic paint dries pretty quickly. You may even be able to use a bigger brush and fill it in faster, but we're going to just keep using this one. And I'm going to get some Phthalo Blue, a little darker. Alright, and then I'll get some Ultramarine Blue, and it's a little bit of a different blue color. And I'll just mix those together and add some more white and put some of this. It's going to be darkest in the corner. And I'm going side to side when I'm blending it. Alright, so that's the first layer of the sky. So we'll do another layer and make it look better the second time. We may even do more than one, but I'll try to keep it just with one more. And then rinse that brush out, and I'm going to get my yellows again, because there's going to be yellow. It's reflecting all of the colors that are in the sky, the water is. So if we have the color in the sky, then they'll probably be in the water too. So right under that, I'm going to do the same thing, just opposite. Get a little bit brighter. And it doesn't have to be perfect, like a perfect copy, but just get something close. I'm going to add some white and a little bit of magenta, deep magenta, and go and fill in between there. And now I want some white. It's got a little bit of blue in it, but I'm going to go over this a second time too. So, alright, and I'm going to rinse that out. And I'm going to get the white with just a tiny bit of the Phthalo Blue again. And right in here it's actually orange again, so I'm gonna, there's like a cloud that's right in there. And you may need to rinse your brush out. Alright, make a little bit more of that blue, and I didn't draw out the dock yet, so I'm just going to go over it this way. I won't have to go around the dock. I'm just going to go up to the sky, even though there's going to be some mountains back there. And it's going to start getting really dark, so I'm going to go back to this darker color. But it's not so bright anymore, so I'm going to get some of the burnt umber. And you may have to add a little bit of water to your paint if it's not flowing off your brush well. And this is some Phthalo Blue and burnt umber. Alright, so there's the first layer. So it doesn't have to be perfect, especially this first time. It's not going to look perfect, but just get a layer of paint down. Try to blend the orange and the blue to where they're not mixing too bad, and then the second layer we'll try to be a little bit more careful. So hopefully we can only do one more layer, and then we can do the clouds and stuff on top. So I'm just going to rinse my brush out and put it off to the side, and this is dry, I think, so I can do the next step. So I'll just take the same brush and basically just do it again. I need some more white before I start though. I had just enough to do that last layer. So you want to be careful, try not to get any blue in your yellow and orange. And I'm taking the yellow out over the orange a little bit, and then I'll get that orange and go around. Right, wipe some of that off, and then get white. I'm rinsing my brush out, getting that orange color out, and then get some more white. And I put a little bit of a lighter orange above the darker. Just a little bit more of that orange. All right. Now I'm going to get that light phthalo blue. And put that in above it. And then I'll get just a little bit more. Slowly make it a darker color. So try blending it as good as you can this time. If you still have some areas that aren't blended well, you can always go back, but you try to get it blended as good as I can this time, so I won't have to go back again. Now I'm going to get some Ultramarine Blue with the Phthalo Blue. Make it even darker blue color. And put that in the corner. Get a little bit of white. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It's still, I'm not really liking this transition from the yellow to the blue. It still kind of looks a little funny. But I'll see if I can fix that. It's pretty, I think it's dry enough now. I can go back to that. So I'm going to get some white and just take some white and go back over it. And I can use my finger to kind of blend it a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to try to do the same thing in the water. And, well, actually first, let me get some white, and I'm going to go right in this yellow and add some bright white in there. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of yellow. Now some orange. And some white. It's mixing with a bunch of blue. I don't want a whole lot of blue in there. Get some orange on one side and blend it. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the sky. I'm going to get that light blue. Alright, and then I'm going to get that yellow and orange. Alright, and now rinse that out. There is a little bit in the sky that's kind of like, almost like it's blue, but it's got a slight green, like teal color. So if I can add like a little bit of yellow just a little bitty tiny bit to the blue, then I think I can get like a teal. So I added a little bit of yellow. And put that in there. Alright, and I want, before this dries up here, I want to get some Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber, make a dark color, and put some of that in the water. And I'll get some white and help to blend it in. I'll get this, let's see, I need more of the other Phthalo Blue. So Phthalo Blue, and I've got some of that like burnt umber in there from the last time. It's already dry, this other blue, so I'm gonna take some white to help blend it a little bit. Okay, it's like it's getting farther and farther out. I want it to, let me see if I can get a little bit of that yellow. And I need some more white. I'm trying to go fast because it's drying, and if I want to blend it good, I need to go quickly. And I'm going to put this dark Phthalo Blue and Burnt Umber in the corner. Alright, I'm not worried about right in here because the dock is going to cover that up. So, alright, so I think that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but for the video, I don't want it to be too long. So, I'm just going to go ahead and rinse this brush out and go to the next step. You can do it however you want. You can keep layering until it's blended just the way you want. I'm just, I don't want to keep on blending it and blending it. Make the video super long. So, okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and the sky I think is dry now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this is a 1/4 inch Deerfoot. It's Artist Loft is the brand, but I don't really like it a whole lot because it's like the bristles are so long. But I use it because this is the smallest Deerfoot I have. So I'm gonna take some white and a little bit of deep magenta and some orange. Keep it light. Get some yellow. It's like an orangey color. Alright, and I'm going to, I don't want a whole lot on my brush. I'm going to go in see, I need it a little lighter, I think. And just kind of go back and forth, and you can add some like clouds, orange clouds in the blue. Needs to be a little more yellow. And I'm just going to kind of go in a circular motion and add some clouds in this blue area, and I'll get some orange and pink, so it's a little bit more of an orangey color. So you've got like a yellow and then a little bit of an orange, and again put the orange in there. And even if your clouds don't come out just like mine or just like the picture, it's okay, because clouds, I mean, even this same picture, if this picture was taken like just a few seconds after, then the clouds would be in a different spot. So the clouds move and they will not be in the same place. So you can do it however you want. I'm going to get a little bit more pink with that orange. Make it a little bit more of a pink color. And put that in. Alright, and there's a big cloud here. It's this is the same cloud in the sky. It's like a reflection of it. So just gonna put that big cloud in. I think I kind of made the sun a little bit too far this way. I should have moved it just slightly over and made it a little bit smaller, not as much orange, but that's alright. Not that big of a deal. Alright, and get some white and go on the outside, the edge, and add that, and I'll get some of this pink again. Get some more white and just go on the edges of those clouds. Alright, I guess that's pretty good at the moment anyway. Might get a little bit more yellow and just add a little bit more yellow in some of the clouds. And then I'm going to get some of that off my brush. I can dip it in the water and then put it on my rag, try to get that color out. And I'm going to get some white and magenta and some phthalo blue. It's going to turn it purple. And there's this purple cloud. It's right in here. Alright, and get some blue, add some whites to it. I'm gonna, oops, it's too dark. Slowly make this cloud the same color as the sky. Get a little bit of yellow so it's like that teal color. Get some white. rinse that color out. And I'm going to get some of my white, and I'm going to try to mix this like orangey color, so I'm going to get some yellow and some orange. And just try to blend those in like that. I can try to blend in this purple cloud a little bit. All right. And I will put a little bit of this pink, just a tiny bit. I need to mix it again because it was dry. A little bit of pink. Oops. Got too much paint on my brush. I don't want a whole lot of paint. And just do a little bit over here. Alright, and then I'll get some of this purple color and I'll put some like purple clouds in here. And then I'll get a little bit of Phthalo Blue and Ultramarine Blue with some white. You want it a little darker than the sky, not too much darker. And just add a few clouds up there. You can add a little bit of white and blend them in just a little bit. Alright, now that this is drying, it's looking funny. Okay. Alright, and I think that it'll look better once we get the mountains and the trees in. So, I'm going to get my 1/4 inch angular shader. And it's Princeton Select. And I'm going to do some dark mountains or trees in front. So I'm going to get this color that we used in this corner here and get some white with it first. So there's some lighter mountains. So I'm going to do some lighter mountains back here. And I'm going to get it a little darker. I'm gonna get some more burnt umber and ultramarine blue. And then get some more white and add that. Alright, now the mountains on each side are darker, so I'm going to wipe that lighter color off the brush and get some ultramarine blue and burnt umber. Make it dark, and I'm going to start over here. And I can tap on the edge and it might give me a little bit of like a tree texture a little bit. And then make it straight on the horizon. Need to get some water because it's not wanting to come off well. Alright, and I'm going to have to do another layer because it's kind of see-through, but that's fine. And I'll do on this side. It's going to stop right about here. You need to make it even with the other side. Alright, so it's not perfectly even, but I think that's okay. What we have there. And I'm going to rinse that out. And I think I'm going to draw in the dock in a minute, but first I want to get some white with my Deerfoot and go with this reflection in the water from that cloud and go around the edge just with some white. Then I'm going to get some magenta and white and put some at the top and get that orange and yellow. too bright. Get some white. Alright, so put that on there, and then I'm gonna let that cloud dry now. Alright, so I'm going to clean my palette a little bit so that I'll have more room to mix more colors. So since this is a glass palette, I can spray the paint and then scrape it off. And I'm not gonna clean the whole thing. I'm just gonna give me a little bit more room. Alright. So now I will take, I'm noticing that the blue in the water is kind of, it's like not blended very well right in here. So I'm just going to take some blue and a little bit of burnt umber and water it down. And just blend in that color a little better that way, just by adding like a light watered down color, and try blending it in. Okay, so hopefully that'll fix that. So I'm going to, I think, do my first, I'm going to draw in the dock now. And I'm going to get some white chalk this time. You could use probably the same yellow if you wanted to, but use some white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it into thirds, and it's like right here on this third that it's going to stop. And then I'm going to put a mark. This is the middle. I'm going to come down just a little bit, about the same distance from the horizon down. And then I'm going to go over slightly. Wait, let's see, that doesn't look right. Let me see. Yeah, so down a little bit and over a little. So this is the middle, down and over. So I'm gonna, this slanted, it's not, I think the picture is a little bit longer than the canvas maybe, so it's, maybe that's why, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna just do a slanted line down like this, and then another line that comes down this way, so it's slowly getting wider as it comes down. Actually, this line on this side is almost straight, so let me do it straight. and then it's going to turn and it's going to go off the corner over there, and then it's going to come a little bit past the middle point, so like over here. So then it's like almost straight here to somewhere in there. So I'm just going to do that, and then down here it's pretty simple. It's just kind of straight, and then as it gets out here, you're going to be able to see the boards a little bit more. So I'm going to take my 1/4 inch, actually, I'll go ahead and use this bigger one. It'll probably fill it in faster. So I'm going to get the burnt umber and ultramarine blue to make a dark color, and it probably won't cover very well this first layer, just like our sky didn't cover well, but we can always go back. It's thundering right now, so you can probably hear it really, really loud. I don't know, you may not be able to hear it at all. I don't really know what the camera, it always sounds different in the camera. Sometimes I can hear noises that the camera doesn't pick up, and then it also seems like sometimes there's noises I don't really pay attention to that the camera picks up really well, so I don't know if you can hear that or not. Alright, so I'm just going to fill that in, and I'm just going to go straight at the moment. And then I'll use my other brush for to do the edge, the boards on the edges. So I'm going to go back and forth. There we go. And there's going to be some posts sticking straight up along the dock, but I'll put those in later. So rinse that out of my brush. And that's going to need to dry before we do our next step. So I actually have a color I forgot to put out at the beginning. It's burnt sienna. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, but I thought it would add a little bit of like a reddish brown to the dock here. So while the dock's drying, it's actually almost dry, I'm going to take my Deerfoot again, and I'm going to ran out of the Ultramarine Blue, so get a little bit more of that, and I'm going to mix basically the same color as this. Just going to try to make it really dark. Really, really dark color. Like as dark as you can. You could even use black. And I'm going to do this tap. Make some trees. Alright, and then with the same color, I'm going to go in the water and just go in circles and do like a reflection, but it's going to be kind of like blurred out because it's in the water. That's why I'm going to go back and forth and just kind of swirl it in. right up against the mountains is going to be really dark. And then I'm just going to swirl it. Okay. And I'm going to rinse that out. I'm going to get my angle brush and get some of that dark color and do maybe a few tree trunks. So just a few like lines. You may not even really see that very well. And I'm also going to use it and go up against this edge here where there's the mountains, and I'm going to do a little bit of a reflection. Oops. Alright, and I'll get a little bit of white. And I'm going to rinse that out of my brush now. And I'm going to get some white. And I don't want a whole lot on my brush. I'm going to do some white in between these colors. And then when I get over here, I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit of that dark color, like the dark with a little bit of white. And then after I got some of that in, then I can do the lighter on top. Alright, and I'll get some of this dark and do another layer on the mountains so you can't see the orange through. Alright, I'm going to have to do it darker over here because it's not quite dark enough. Okay. And there's like it looks like there's a boat right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So I'm going to get that dark color again. And I'm just going to do, you could draw this first if you wanted to. I'm going to do like that. And do the reflection. Like that. Okay. Alright, so now this is dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rag, get a little bit of water on it, and take off the chalk. Just make sure you don't go over a spot that's still wet. And for the back here, I'm going to start with that dark color again. Put that in. Actually, I might just take this big Filbert and just do another coat. Alright, now rinse that out so we got it really dark now. And I'm going to make sure I get that out of my brush over here. I don't have to clean it perfect, but just get it wet and lay it off to the side. And I'm going to get some white with this. And I'm going to get most of it off my brush, and then I'm going to go back and forth and add some lighter color. And I can do it kind of without doing a whole lot of detail until I get up closer. And then I need to start doing more detail. I'm going to get some white and a little bit of ultramarine blue with it. And then I also don't want a whole lot of that on my brush. Alright, I'm going to go back and get some darker . I can do some lines so it looks like there's some dark pieces of wood in there. So you don't have to define one board down here. You just kind of do a little bit like that. And then I'm going to get some of the burnt sienna and some brown, and I can do some of that. Alright, so I'm going to get my dark color again, and while that's drying, I'm going to put in some of the posts. So there's like some tall ones. Some of them are a little wider and others are smaller. Alright, so I'm going to make some of them shorter and some of them taller. They're going to start getting bigger the closer that they get to us. And there's going to be one right here on the corner. Alright, and then on this side, you're not really able to see a whole lot of the individual ones because they're all kind of on top of each other. So I'm just going to do some dark along there. Alright. There is one that you can see right here. You can see a little bit of yellow in between it. Okay, and then there's going to be two big ones right in front. Let me do some of these boards that are coming out off to the side. I'm going to make sure that I do some boards that are out over here. It can be straight here, but you want it when it gets close. I'm going to do it different. So I'm going to have right here, there's going to be a post. Okay, I'm going to do another post right here. Get a little bit of water so that it can go in the small little holes of the canvas there. Okay. Alright, so we got that now. I'm going to get some white with it. And I'm going to do some boards. I'm going to get some burnt umber. And I'm going to leave some space in between the boards for some dark color. Get some burnt sienna and burnt umber. And I can change the color of the board slightly. You can make some of them look a little bit more blue. Some more red. Alright, and as I get farther, I'm going to try to make them a little bit smaller. I'm not going to do as much detail. I'm just going to go and do some lines. Alright, I'm going to get some dark and do some dark in there and a little bit more burnt sienna. I'm going to get some ultramarine blue and white. Alright, now I'm going to get some more white. I'm going to add some to this ultramarine blue. Alright, now I'll get some burnt sienna and some white. And some burnt umber. Okay, I think it's pretty good. I'm going to rinse my brush out and I'm going to need to get some more of my blue and brown. Okay, and I'm going to do this, mix up some of that dark color for the trees and like the little boat that's out here. Put some here, make that darker. Okay, and I think we're almost done. I'm just going to rinse that out. And might just take a little bit more of this dark color. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to rinse that out of my brush, and I'm going to take my Faber-Castell Hit Artist pen to sign it with, and I'm just going to go down here in the corner. Alright, so there we go. I think that's pretty good. There's the dock acrylic painting. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and were able to have fun with it. And real quick before I end the video, I'm going to put up on the screen the schedule that we have for this month. So we just did the pier there, and we're going to do a beach next week, and then some fish. So that's what we're going to be doing the rest of this month. So if you want to see any of those being painted, you can go to my channel, Emily Powers Art. Right below the video, if you see Emily Powers Art, you can click on that and it should take you to my channel. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please give it a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.